ይህም አገር 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 ሳስብ ብሽፈሰል ይህ አገር ብርቁ ይህም አገር 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 ሳስብ ብሽፈሰል ይህ አገር ብርቁ
still king of Shua, and had just moved the capital of his kingdom from Ankober to Entito. The palace was criticized by some as not being as imposing as the one that the king abandoned in Ankober, and was actually described as ramshackle by others. It was not as extensive as many of the other royal and imperial residences that existed in the empire at the time. Once Menelik became emperor, an effort was made to expand the palace, but Menelik soon moved to his new capital at Addis Ababa, and he only stayed at Entito when he was visiting St. Mary's Church on the mountain top, or as a stopover when he was traveling north. Empress Tato was compelled to return to this palace when she was widowed, and died at this palace in 1928. Menelik and Tato are the only sovereigns to have lived in this palace. It is currently going through extensive renovations after years of falling into disrepair. The Imperial Palace, also known as the Great Gibi, or the Menelik Palace. The Imperial Palace was begun as a house on a hill built for Empress Tato, who would visit the hot mineral springs at Finfine, a short distance away. The area was named Addis Ababa by the Empress, and a town grew rapidly around the house of the Empress. In 1886, the capital of the empire was moved to this site from Mt Entito, and Tato's husband, Emperor Menelik II, rebuilt the house as his primary palace. Over the years the palace was added to and expanded, to include a multitude of buildings of various sizes and functions in a large wooded compound. The Imperial Palace served as the official palace even after Emperor Haile Selassie I moved his primary residence out to the Gwenet Lul Palace in 1932, and it remained the official seat of the monarchy until the Revolution of 1974. The Marxist military dictatorship, known as the Derg, that overthrew the imperial government in September 1974 continued to use the palace as its official seat of government. The Derg renamed the palace as the Grand Palace, but it also used the term Menelik Palace regularly. The extensive wine cellars of the palace were used to imprison prominent figures of the imperial government, including male members of the Solomonic dynasty. It remained the seat of power of the People's Republic of Ethiopia when it was proclaimed in 1986 by the Derg, and the current government of the Federal Republic of Ethiopia also uses it as its official seat of power. Emperor Haile Selassie was kept under detention in one of the buildings in the palace compound following his deposal in 1974. He was killed here, and buried secretly on the grounds, a latrine built over the site of his grave. His remains were disinterred following the fall of the Derg, and he has been reburied. There are 3 important churches on the grounds of the palace. The most prominent is the magnificent Ta-eka Nejest, resting place of kings, Baetale Mariam Monastery, with a large imperial crown atop its dome, which serves as the mausoleum of Emperor Menelik II, his wife Empress Tato, and Empress Zudatu, his daughter and eventual successor. The other churches are the Sel Bet Kidane Maharat Church, Our Lady Covenant of Mercy, and the Debre Mengist St. Gabriel Church. Former President, Lieutenant Colonel Mengistu Haile Mariam converted the house of the Dean of the Baetale Mariam Monastery into a large residence for himself, and this building continues to serve as the residence of the Prime Minister of the current government, and is an outer part of the palace complex. Copyright Imperial Ethiopia. National Palace 1886. Thank you for watching.